A battle down in Ottawa tonight, and a big signing today also happened for the Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues. It is Tuesday, October 29th. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today on Locked On Blues, I'm going to talk to you about the battle in Ottawa tonight versus the Senators, the Blues' weaknesses, since I did talk about all the strengths yesterday, and of course, comparing the Blues to the rest of the West. We have a busy episode on Locked On Blues today. A signing actually did happen, which I'm pleasantly okay with. I know, shocker, right? A 1-year extension that I'm actually happy about. This is a first for Locked On Blues. I also have a big announcement about something that's going to be happening with this channel and what I can bring to it with the Blues coming to my neck of the woods in the next couple of days. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with a $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. So the Blues battle the Ottawa Senators tonight. And I think for me, right, I have to just take myself out of the mindset of the last game, the loss of the Montreal Canadiens, that 5-2 loss. I know it was a bad game for the Blues. I mean, they were in it, right, when the Neighbors was able to tie up the game. But then once Montreal made it 3-2 heading into the final frame, it just all went the opposite direction. But for the Blues, one thing that does impress me, and this is a statistic, okay? We're talking the entire National Hockey League on this one. They're 1 out of 10 teams with at least 3 wins when they don't get the first goal, okay? Which is a crazy statistic. So, yes, even if the Blues don't get the first goal, they still find their ways to win. And I think that's what makes this team the comeback team. We talked about the Blues' identity, okay? And my everydayers know this. A team's identity, you're probably not going to find that within the first couple of games, maybe not even the first couple months, right? Identity takes time to find. Each year, there's a new identity, right? The year that we won the Stanley Cup, we had an identity in the beginning of the season of, oh, this team just is not it. They're not good. These are, bad players essentially, to then transforming to the comeback kids and being able to prove everyone wrong in the National Hockey League. I mean, the Blues were in dead last place in the West in January and were able to win the cup. So I think for me, right now in this given time, I say that this Blues team is a team that can battle hard, and that's their identity, is that they can battle, they can win these contests despite being down. But it would be nice for the Blues to be the team that, gets on the board first and is able to maintain a lead to then get a win. I think we see teams like the VGK, right? And I know we're going to compare the West, but the Vegas Golden Knights, they do such a great job of not only getting on the board first, but being able to maintain the lead. You know, I watch a lot of hockey, not just Blues, right? I watch a lot of hockey. And I hate it so much when there's so many different, changes with who's leading in the game. I want to see teams battle it out. I want to see teams that score first that can continue to score first. And why am I saying this about the Ottawa Senators tonight? Well, because the Ottawa Senators, I feel like for years, were always looked at as a team that were not good at playing hockey, right? A bad hockey team. However, this season they're 4-4, and I know what you're thinking, 4-4-0. Okay, what does that tell me about the Ottawa Senators? Well, it tells me a few things. Number one, they almost beat the Avalanche on Sunday. It was a 5-4 win for Colorado, almost beat them. They kind of were close when it came to the Golden Knights losing in that battle 6-4. Then they defeated Utah, and Utah, let's not forget, Utah looked pretty good within the first couple of games. They shut them out 4-0. Then they defeat the Lightning. Yes, that is right. The Tampa Bay Lightning 5-4. Devils win 3-1 over them. They defeat the Kings in OT. Remember that really high scoring 15-goal game? Yeah. 8-7. And then they lose to the Canadiens 4-1. So I guess the Canadiens are beating everybody this season, right? And then they defeated the Panthers 3-1. So they're beating teams, not only teams that are good, they beat the defending Stanley Cup champions within the Florida Panthers. They beat the Colorado, well, no, they almost beat the Colorado Avalanche, but the point is they're really battling against these stronger teams in the National Hockey League, which again shows me, hey, this is not an easy game up ahead, especially not on home ice, and especially coming off of that loss out of Montreal. However, they have interesting players on the Ottawa Senators, right? They have our good friend, David Perron. Hello, good to see you again. They also have Brady Tkachuk, and we know how I feel about the Tkachuk family. I literally love the Tkachuk family. Keith, forever a legend. I just want either Brady or Matthew, and I feel like it's going to be Matthew to wear the blue note at least once. I feel like that just would be so full circle. So again, the Tkachuk family, can't hate them. They have Nick Cousins, okay? Nick bleeping Cousins. Again, another player with that experience. They have Claude Giroux. Oh, Claude Giroux. I could say enough good things about him. But another player that nothing but respect for him. Like, they have Noah Gregor, who I like a lot. Um, Nick Jensen. They have Zach McEwen. Oh my goodness. Like, they just have all these players that honestly have a lot of talent. And, Anton Frostberg, they have, I mean, Jake Sanderson, Shane Pinto. How did I forget Shane Pinto out of all players? Josh Norris. Essentially, their roster this season is actually looking pretty good, which makes me a little bit nervous about tonight's contest, especially when they had a really close battle with the Avalanche. However, Blues fans, I want to tell you something about the Colorado Avalanche, okay? Because I was cracking up, okay? They lost to the Chicago Blackhawks 5-2. And I hate the Blackhawks. We know how I feel. Like, I despise Chicago. Hate Chicago. They're 3-6-1. Like, this is not a good team. The Blackhawks suck. We all know that. But yeah, they're able to defeat the Colorado Avalanche 5-2 in last night's battle. And I was laughing. Again, I'm going to talk about the whole entire, Western Conference, the Central Division. However, I just wanted to point that out. I found a good chuckle in that this morning when I was looking over all the games from last night. So, anyways, I'm going to give you some of the projected lineup today at Ottawa. And this was for morning skate. So, centering in the first line, we have Bushi. On the left, we have Texier, and on the right, Kyrou. So I like that Kyrou is being brought up in the first line. Jordan Kyrou is one of those players where, honestly, I know what you're going to say. Oh, he's not consistent enough, too many turnovers, but his stick and puck control and his handling, it's beautiful. It's beaut on the ice. And I feel like, his speed and mobility also does excel as well. So I do like that. All right. Then on the second line, it is Captain. Well, I let me go do this again. Hashtag Captain Braden Shen centering, and then Brandon Sod on the left, and then Jakey Neighbors on the right. It's almost Halloween, and I just can't stop thinking about Jake Neighbors dressing up as a hot dog, which is the most random thought that came to my mind, but that's what I think of now when I think of Jake Neighbors. Then on the third line, we have Dylan Holloway, Zach Bolduc, and Kasperi Kapanen. On the fourth line, we have centering. It is Foxa, Turpochenko, and Sunquist. Sunny. I also have some news about my friend Torchenko, and he has a 1-year contract extension, 1.7 million AAV. So congratulations to him. It felt like just yesterday I was talking with him, actually, Nathan Walker, just about the season. And, all those guys just bring so much to the locker room, and I really do enjoy their presence. So I'm happy about that, right? 1 year, 1.7 mil, not bad. That's honestly a good deal for him. You're going to get consistency out of him. All right. So Matthew Joseph, by the way, he is out due to a lower body injury. I do miss Nathan Walker. I'm not going to lie. It sucks that I don't see him on the ice, but I understand that they have to put their best players forward. So that's what they're doing. Defense we have on that first pair. It doesn't make any sense, but it is Ryan Suter and Colton Parayko. Then we have Philip Broberg and Jay Folk. And then we have P.O. Joseph and Matthew Kessel. Yep. Scotty P is out. I know. And before you all say, Haley, you were literally begging Coach Bannister to put him in, I'm happy he did. Okay. However, I can see that he is not the best fit defensively. So I'll leave it at that. That extension was stupid. I said it when it actually did happen. Everyone came at me and said, "Oh my gosh, you're being too hard on Perunovic." Then I'm like, "Okay, let's give Perunovic a chance." Everyone's like, "Oh my god, don't give him a chance." And then now I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm going to go back on my original statement of, yeah, they shouldn't have extended him." And then tonight in net, it is the one, it is the only, it is Joel Hofer. So excited to see Hofer in net. I know it's crazy how much better Hofer's winning percentage is than Jordan Binnington. It's just the matchup. Spinner still is going to be probably the goalie of Face the Nations inside the All-Star game this year, but I do like seeing Joel Hofer, and it's going to be a good game. I like this actually a lot. I do think that first and second line, though, will be switched. I think hashtag Captain Braden Shen's line will be the first line. However, that's just the lines that got ran throughout practice, and that can always change. It doesn't necessarily matter the order of the lines. It just matters who is on the lines. So speaking of on the lines, there are some things about this Blues team that makes me a little bit apprehensive. And yeah, I can straight out say the weaknesses that they have. So I want to talk to you about that. Before I do, I want to talk to you about my friends at FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats and view live play-by-play and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit fanduel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's fanduel.com. Never waste a hunch and make even more with fanduel.com, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. I'm always telling you what to bet on, okay? I told you last week, I got you money. I'm going to do it again for you now because we have a great slate of NFL games heading into week 9. Season is moving fast. We have the Texans and Jets on Thursday, okay? I know the Blues play that day. So this is what you're going to do. During intermission, you're going to casually just turn that game on and see that the Jets are going to be winning. So honestly, take Jets on the money line for that game. If you want to be a little bit risky, you want to do a little Sunday afternoon parlay. You have Commanders and Giants. Take the Commanders. They're going to be away facing the Giants. Then you also have a game that I really have some interest in. Okay, you have the Cowboys and Falcons. I think Falcons are going to win. So yes, we're doing a little bit of the NFC minus the Falcons, but I would take for your little parlay, take the Commanders and then take the Falcons and win some do-re-mi. Okay, let's go talk about the Blues' weaknesses. The number one thing I noticed about the St. Louis Blues and what makes them a weak team is the defense. I'm going to be straight out and say it. The defense is probably one of the worst defenses that I have seen in quite a while. Now, I know they have Philip Broberg, but I told you this yesterday. He is more of a two-way defenseman. He's much better offensively. And again, still a lot of value in him. You know, Nicoletti, are we going to see him again? I don't know. He's probably out there fishing now while he's injured, but I don't know if we're going to see him again. So I'm counting that out. Justin Folk, I like him. Is he good enough? Probably not. Colton Parayko, best player on defense without a doubt. Ryan Suter, who is on the first pair, mind you, should not be a player that is a first pair player. He is a player that you should be giving limited minutes to on the ice. But yet he is proving that he is one of the best defensemen on this team. What does that tell me? It tells me that the bar is low. The bar is like really, really low. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if I see a trade happening at some point for defensive players. I like P.O. I do. I think P.O. Joseph is a good player, okay? Is he the solution? No. Was Philip Broberg the solution? No. Was Ryan Suter the solution? Probably at this point, yeah, which is the craziest thing. I know I was talking to Joey from Locked On Stars, and I talked to Seth, Locked On Wild. I talked to so many people, and none of us would have ever thought in a million of years that Ryan Suter would be a first pair defenseman. Even saying it out loud, I just can't help but crack up because it's just a crazy thing to say. And I know there's people that are probably not like, as into hockey or don't know exactly what I'm saying. Let me put it this way. NFL terms, it's like if the third string quarterback was the starting quarterback because he played better than the starting quarterback and the backup. Like that's essentially what's going on here. So, at least to me, that's a weakness. Another weakness, and I didn't point this one out with when I was talking about Jordan Cairo, is the amount of turnovers. I think the Blues turn the puck over because they're a little bit more aggressive in the offensive zone with the puck, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think aggressiveness in the offensive zone does establish dominance and it does generate plays to happen. However, they do need to be a little bit more in control with the puck, and when they do have possession, because it's just going to accumulate the turnovers, which then results in the other team then being able to get those scoring opportunities. Another weakness that the Blues have is stupid, stupid penalties. Let's not high stick. You're six up, put the stick down. Not that difficult. I know it's easier said than done, but just being more aware. And then finally, the other biggest weakness, the one that literally had me freaking out the other day when watching the game. This actually happens with a lot of games, but especially the Jets game when I was live tweeting that day. Shoot the puck. Simple, effective, do it. You don't need to be passing the puck back and forth for minutes on end. You're wasting time. If you see a shot, take it. I know that, one thing that Coach Bannister said was, especially about Jordan Cairo, is that he doesn't want to be all about him. He wants to win as a hockey team. He wants it to be a team win. And I respect that. I respect that the guys don't want to be selfish on the ice and they want to come together as a team. However, when you have less than a minute left to play, you have an extra man on ice because you pulled the goalie and you were not shooting the puck. Yeah, it's not going to go in the net. I would rather the guys in that situation, you're down one goal, you're trying to equalize up the game, instead of passing it back and forth, just shoot the puck and just see what happens. Hope that a miracle happens. Be by the net so you can rebound it in if needed. And that's what makes a good hockey team. It's the rebounding. It's when players are able to position themselves and to block out the defenseman to be able to rebound it right into the net. I get it. You want to shoot the 5-hole. I get what you want to do. I get why these guys are taking the slap shots or the wrist shots. I get why. But even a nice little backhandy can do the job just right, right? So I think just having that awareness is going to help this team so much. But again, I think these guys do have good hockey IQ. I think they are very smart. I think they are very talented. And I'm not denying that. I'm just saying, yeah, that is a weakness of the Blues, that they just need to shoot the puck when they have that extra man advantage. Even on the power play, too. I feel like on the power play, sometimes they kind of just like lollygag on the ice. And I'm like, okay, well, you have 2 minutes and the time's ticking. So take advantage. Have you ever noticed that there's teams, though, that do better on the penalty kill than on the power play offensively? It doesn't make any sense. I want to know, like, the psychology behind that, if I could even speak. But I do want to know why players sometimes feel like they can do better on the PK offensively. And that's where players like, again, it comes with our defensemen, where we see players excel, like Philip Roberg. He does great offensively, but we need that strength in the defense. I could go on for days about this, honestly, because it's one thing that bothers me so much about this team is that we don't have many just established defensemen that are not two-way defensemen. I know it sounds so cool. We have a two-way defenseman. Okay. Well, that's awesome. However, if you have a two-way defenseman, he still needs to be good on the defense side of things and not just yeah, like again, it's just one of those things. So I have some Adam Juracek news. I know Adam Juracek. Um, so he was our player that we drafted at this year's draft, who I interviewed, and you can see that video full on the YouTube channel. Um, he actually just got signed to his juniors team, so super cool for him today. So he'll be back on the ice soon, dealing with that injury. But he spent some time here in St. Louis, just rehabbing. So happy for Juracek. I also have to tell you, I cannot believe that that draft was actually as long ago as it was. I'm like, wow, it was back in June. But it was such a cool opportunity talking to Adam Juracek, and I'm kind of foreshadowing some other things that might be happening with people I could be talking to. But first, I'm going to tell you about my friends over at Prize Picks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. PrizePicks is the best way to get on action in sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. PrizePicks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy so that your lineup stays in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, PrizePicks keeps your lineup live. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. Just join more than over the 10 million users and sign up today. If you sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5, you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So, yes, that means if you sign up, you literally play $5, you get $50 in bonuses, which is actually an insane offer to get. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday each Tuesday. PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value to your lineups. Okay. So let's go do this because PrizePicks, it does hockey too, not just football. So Nathan McKinnon for more than half a goal. And then, oh, I hate this guy, but Evander Kane for more than 1.5 hits, which we all know is going to happen because who was one of the dirtiest players in the National Hockey League? Evander Kane. You could also do Dave Pastrnak for more than 2.5 shots on goal and Sidney Crosby for more than half a point. So download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL and get up to $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. When I look at the St. Louis Blues, of course, I need to look at my other teams out in the West because it is getting tight. And not just to the point where I'm like, okay, well, we still have a full season, to the point of, whoa, why is the West like this season? And I am kind of freaking out about it. So let's go take a look over at the West and kind of see how they look compared to the St. Louis Blues. So right now in the Central Division, the Jets, they got their first loss last night, by the way. And I believe that they lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-4 Leafs win. Listen, Craig Berube, I miss you as our coach. Will forever be our head chief. However, I'm happy we beat you, and I'm happy that you beat those Jets because now for the 103rd National Hockey season, no team will be undefeated, winning all 82 games, which is such a stupid statistic and something that like I really shouldn't be like confidently saying. Like obviously no team is going to win all 82 games. Um but it is funny to say that officially. So I like that. So okay, let's go take a look besides that. So the Jets that are now 8-1 have 16 points. Then you have the Stars with 14 points who are 7-2. You have the Wild with 12 points who are 5-1-2. Oh, wait. Is that what I think it is? Oh, yeah, the St. Louis Blues, who are 5-4, are in fourth right now in the Central Division, so in the top half of the Central Division. Then you also have the Avalanche, who are 5-5 below Utah, who is 4-4-2. Those Nashville Predators, who are 3-5-1 with only 7 points. Oh, and right below them is the Blackhawks, who are 3-6-1 with 7 points. I told you. I told you all when we had our roundabout episode with all of the, Central Division teams. Who said it? Who said my bold prediction is that the Predators are not going to be a good team. I just want to say you can leave in the comments down below that I was right because I had a feeling about this. They made so many moves with so many big contracts for players that are a bit older. Now, I'm not going to lie. Last night, I'm watching Steven Stamkos return back home to Tampa. Lightning won, by the way, in overtime. And they do this video tribute for him. And they're showing him tearing up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am tearing up watching him tear up when I have no connection to Stamkos whatsoever, like at all. Um, but anytime you see somebody hoisting up that beautiful Stanley Cup, it makes me emotional. I think about our guys a lot too. I think about, Petro. I think about, even seeing little Robert Thomas hoist it, Ryan O'Reilly. I think about all those guys and I just think about the emotions that we had as a fan base when we won the cup. So I think seeing other players get that way, it makes me emotional. And there's something so beautiful about Lord Stanley. It's a beautiful thing. Anyways, let's look at the Pacific Division. With 15 points, it is the 7-2-1 VGK LTIR cheating team. Even though they're not cheating, I hate them. They suck. Below the VGK with 12 points, big drop off. Okay, they go from 15 to 12. Is the Kings, who are 5-2-2. Again, the two teams that we were literally competing with at the end of last season to make it to the playoffs, which we didn't because we were the best worst team in the NHL, and I still hate that today. Below them with 11 points is the Vancouver Canucks, who are 4-1-3. Below the Canucks are the Flames, who are 5-3-1. Then you have the Kraken, who we beat, by the way, to start off the season. They are 4-4-1 with 9 points. The Edmonton Oilers, who are 4-5-1 with 9 points. Also, Connor McDavid last night did get hurt in his game, and he is now being sent back to Edmonton for evaluation. And there's no exact time on when he will return, if even. Now, it sucks because I feel like this happens all the time with McDavid, and not all the time. Like, I'm not saying he's injury prone, but when McDavid is out, you do notice a huge drop off within the team. And I think that is something that happens when you have literally your star player. And I know Draisaitl, and again, I'm happy we got Broberg and Holloway. Very thankful for that. However, it does suck for McDavid. Then you have the Anaheim Ducks, who are 3-4-1 with 7 points. And then in last place, you have those San Jose Sharks, who we almost lost to, who are 1-7-2. Yeah, the Sharks got their first win. Huge for the San Jose Sharks. They beat Utah yesterday, actually in OT. So that was a 5-4 win for those San Jose Sharks. Now I'm going to quickly glance over to, by the way, to the East just to see if anything's really standing out to me. In the high, so I'll just do the best record and the worst record in each of the divisions. Best in the Atlantic is the Panthers, who are 7-3-1 with 15 points. And then the worst is those Ottawa Senators, who are 4-4-0 with 8 points. We play tonight. So we play the Senators tonight. So we play the worst in the Atlantic tonight. The Metro, the best is those New Jersey Devils, who are 6-4-2 with 14 points. And the worst are the Philadelphia Flyers, who are 2-6-1. And we play Philadelphia on Thursday night. So the Flyers have 5 points, okay? So they are worse than the Senators, who are playing tonight. And if you're comparing that to the West, they're worse than the Blackhawks. Oh, yeah. And they're just a little bit better than San Jose. So I think that we should be able to win these next couple games because we're playing some really bad hockey teams. I want to reiterate, bad hockey teams. Now, I do have some news. We all know that I'm able to give you exclusive Blues content a couple times a year. One was the draft, one was last season when I was able to interview the guys in the locker room when they came to my city. Well, good news, I might have 2 days of that depending on when they come after traveling from Ottawa. So I am so pumped to give you some great, content. I can't wait to ask the guys questions. I'm going to try to do some one-on-one interviews. I'm setting that up with Blues PR as we speak. But again, this is like my favorite day and time of the NHL season is when the Blues come to where I'm at and I'm able to truly embrace my fandom. I mean, I'm walking around Philadelphia in my Blues sweatshirt. So like I think that just goes to show, hey, listen, I keep it real. So that's what it is. So again, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Locked On Blues or my own Twitter at Haley T. Simon to stay up to date with all of your exclusive Blues coverage for this week, which is so cool starting tomorrow. So again, stay tuned for that. And I will talk to you like usual tomorrow and how I end every single episode. Let's go Blues.